I mean, you're a good housewife, Tamra. Um, we love Sophia, but keep this also good for her for putting the mom in place and being like, yo, Tamra, my sister and dad don't want to talk about this shit on camera. Zip your fucking lip. Talk to your therapist. It's not me. Sydney, I mean, that's you gotta feel a little bit for Tamra. I mean, that's a hard thing when she said it's like having your child be dead, but it's not really child's not really dead. Then we have this scene where Eddie is like, oh my God. And I mean, this just seems so staged to me with some producer standing off and saying, refer to her as Jesus Jugs. Cause I don't think in his real life, Eddie's like, oh, you're going to see Jesus Jugs. But Eddie warns Tamra, beware of Shannon. She is toxic. Didn't he say that about Vicky? This Eddie Judge is really, really a smart guy. He called out Vicky. He called, yeah, they're both toxic for your wife. They're both fucking toxic for your wife. That's why you wanted her off the show. And then she was off the show and you were happy for a minute. But then when the CBD wasn't doing well, after 2 minutes, you're like, I'm okay with her going back on the show. They're always okay. It's a big paycheck. Now, but Eddie, call me. You're a smart guy. Yes, Vicky is toxic. Uh, we have a new housewife, Katie, and she is friends with uh Gina, but she was referred to Gina to look for a home through Sutton. I am sorry you had me at Sutton Strack. Now, Katie don't look as rich as Heather Durrow or Sutton Strack, so just being friends with Sutton doesn't mean you're as rich as her, but I love that you're referred by Miss Strack. Great place to start. And we're going to see Sutton later. Emily reveals. Oh, that Emily, she can't keep a secret. She reveals, I had my lunch with Shannon and she says she only has 2 drinks. Miss Judge comes out with an epic line, 2 drinks per hour. Oh, that Miss Judge is such a good housewife. She really is. Shannon, Heather's heart is pounding. Shannon walks right in there. She might want to look good. She might not want to be wrinkled. She walks right in there, and girlfriend holds her head high. I got to tell you, they did a poll on Watch What Happens with that Andy Cohen 15-year anniversary up at the Boom Boom Room. And they ask, are you team Heather? I mean, are you team Shannon or team Alexis? 92% are in favor of Alexis. So guess what? We have our Kenya Moore. We got our villain, and her name is the one, the only Alexis Jesus Jugs Bellino. Miss Jesus Jugs is in the house. Oh, yeah. Shannon apologizes to Gina. Gina never saw this coming. And once again, we hear about John Jansen's huge cock. I could see that. I could see John Jansen having a big dick, right? I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. And the gals go outside. Shannon ain't afraid, and Heather asks, is it wrong to listen? Tamra asks, do we have a listening device? This is very lighthearted and funny. Miss Simpson reveals she can read lips. She can read English, Spanish, and lips. She's trilingual, Miss Simpson, and then she puts her ear up and tries to hear, and she does a side eye. Miss Simpson is on the case. The guest on Watch What Happens with Shannon said, we need that investigator. Andy Cohen is like, who? The investigator. She was referring to our 4-time podcast guest, the one and only Miss Megan King. Don't call her Megan King Edmonds. Well, Shannon is still bitter about the lawsuit. She says, you served me a cease and desist. Name them, name them, name them. Well, now Alexis says, find them, find them, find them. Shannon says, I will go home and dig through the papers all night. I know you did it, Alexis is like, we will not talk about things from 3 years ago. Miss Rat Judge, Tamra and I made up at BravoCon. Life is good. She says, this isn't about the lawsuit from my ex-husband, who she was divorced from at the time. So I actually am team Alexis and Tamra on this one. Get over it, Shannon. Not that I would get over it, but she didn't have anything to do with it. And that's why I would get over it. But Alexis says, it's not about the lawsuit. It's about the fact that you had the boyfriend and now I do. Shannon says, I am thrilled that you have him. Alexis says, I'm thrilled he dumped you so I could have him. Oh, it's getting ugly. She also says, there's the door, Shannon Bedore. Who in Alexis's life told her this sentence? It's really good, but we know it was rehearsed. Sorry, I'm just hearing something behind me. Scene end. To be continued. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a whole season of Shannon's drinking. Alexis versus Shannon. I don't know why Alexis is not full time. Was it because she didn't want the kids on it? Was it because she wasn't sure she wanted to get back into it and she just wanted to dip her toe into it? Or was it because Johnny J didn't? And I do think it's such a great rebranding. Or do we think it's because Johnny J did not want to be on the screen? Which is it? Which is it? Meanwhile, well, we're going to find out and we're going to be recapping the OC. I am excited. We're going to recap Jersey as well. We're going to do both here on Patreon. But since we don't have a Jersey to recap, but look, I'm very positive. There, let's we're in this together. It's not a short season. We're going to have some fun with this one. We'll have guests on. In the real world, Trey was on Kelly and Mark, and they kind of pushed. Now, producers are telling them to push. She didn't seem happy to me that they kept asking her about. She stands to her grounds. Like, we tried that. We will not reconcile, Joe and I. It's over. They'll never reconcile. Can't blame Kelly for asking. Can't blame Mark for asking. I would ask. Trey did do a follow-up interview to say, like, she's been a fan of Kelly's and Mark's from the beginning since General Hospital. Girl, they run all my children. Get with the program. She says she realized that. Well, you made the mistake. So there you go. She didn't seem happy with Kelly and Mark for asking these questions. Dolo, who I've been saying for a while now, I find to be a fraud. I'm sorry. I'm going to be just honest. I find her to be a fraud. I do. I mean, I find, like, when I tell you here, like, the things that motivate me and that I love money and that I'm so fucking tired today, and just be real. So I don't like the holier than thou. I'm all about charity and blah, blah, blah. I've seen another side of Dolores off air. Now we have this hot mic moment with Dolo where she doesn't think we're recording. And, they ask her in this interview about her relationship